Raleigh fourth. Raleigh of Seattle committed to play for Team USA in next year's World Baseball Classic. The team captain is Aaron Judge of the Yankees. The Tampa Bay Rays, according to The Athletic, will be sold for $1.7 billion. The buyers are led by a Florida-based developer. The MLB draft is finishing as we speak, and the Jets gave wide receiver Garrett Wilson a 4-year extension. I'm Steve DeSague.
Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome inside the After Hours Lounge, brought to you by Bellevue University. Head over to bellevue.edu, register for classes, become a Bruin tonight. We've got a great show lined up for you. If Nick Saban were to return to college football, where would he go? We'll debate at 6:15. At 6:30, Greg Sankey spoke at the beginning of SEC Media Days, and they have been eventful. We'll recap that at 6:30. We'll buy or sell at several different topics, including golf and tennis tonight, because Danny Campen insists on us doing so. Yeah. At 7:15, which teams did make the football playoffs in the NFL last year that won't and should make them this year? And then at 7:30, Tim Clevenger, the head football coach at Papio South, joins us and brings his players in studio. That was a rough start to the show. Let's make it better from here. Phil Steele, in his Bible this year, has come out and said that Nebraska has the easiest schedule in the Big Ten. Now, when you look at this schedule, I think you've got to break it down into 4 different components of what this schedule is, and you could do that 3 games in a row at a time. And those 3 games to start the season are clearly the most winnable, right? When you talk about Cincy, Akron, and Houston Christian.
You better win 2.
If you look at that as a best case scenario, it's 3-0, right? Worst case scenario, to your point, 2-1. If you look at those next 3, Michigan State, in your first true real road game at Maryland to round out that second part of the season. Yes, the game in Arrowhead is technically an away game. It's a neutral site game, but it's going to be an 80% partisan Nebraska crowd. That necessarily hasn't always mattered. Let me direct you to the Ireland game a couple of years ago.
Kick anyone?
Best case scenario in that, you're 3-0. You're able to beat Michigan at home. They're without their head coach. You're able to go on the road to Maryland, win, and obviously
they have a true freshman quarterback, probably.
Michigan State. Can we stop doing it? It's Bryce Underwood. Bryce Underwood is the starting quarterback at Michigan this year. Michigan State probably going to be stuck in neutral from where they were a year ago. They may take a step forward this year.
Everyone's telling me Aiden Childs is really good.
We'll see if that's the case. Best case there, you're looking at 3-0. Worst case there, you're looking at 1-2. So worst case, you're 3-3 heading into the second half of the season. Best case, you're 6-0. This is where the schedule gets a little bit dicey. And the month of October has not always been the most friendly to Nebraska. Nebraska has gone undefeated in the month of October twice since 2000. 2001 and 2023. This portion of the schedule would face Minnesota on the road after coming off the road against Maryland the week prior. Northwestern home, USC at home. Now, the best case scenario, you're probably 3-0 in that situation. Worst case, 1-2 with the only win over Northwestern or Minnesota. Then it's the last 3.
Yeah, but can you really ever say
it's a win for sure against Northwestern?
Yeah.
You could be 0-3 there. I'll give you that. And then
just given history.
You look at the last 3 games. It's at UCLA, at Penn State, and Iowa at home. I think best case scenario is you're 2-1 in that situation because you're probably not beating Penn State no matter what. And then worst case obviously would be 0-3. You lost to UCLA last year. You lost to Iowa a year ago, and Penn State's a top 5 team. So if you combine all the things we just said, best case scenario, you're probably 11-1, 10-2. Worst case scenario, you're looking at 4-8, 3-9. Is it fair to say that's the ceiling and floor for these 2 teams?
No.
Or for this team? No, you don't think so. Okay. No. What's the ceiling then?
I think the ceiling is 10-2. I don't think they have enough talent to go 11-1.
Okay. What's the floor? 3-9?
5-7.
Okay.
I don't think this team loses more than 7 games any way possible.
So I thought it was really interesting to look at the Big Ten portion of it because, as I mentioned, you only have the 4 true road games at Maryland, at Minnesota, at UCLA, at Penn State. The only one of those games you pencil in for a first sure loss is the Penn State. Mm-hmm. Which means the rest of your manageable schedule is all at home or in a neutral site game. outside of that opener on Thursday against Cincinnati, you don't have a true away game until mid-October against Maryland. You draw Michigan, but to your point, they're going to come in without their head coach. No Sherrone Moore. He's going to coach the first 2 games, miss the next 2 games due to the self-inflicted
self-imposed.
Thank you. Self-imposed ban because of the Connor Stallion stuff. You're going to have a true freshman quarterback, but he's going to be battle tested. They go on the road to Norman 2 weeks prior to that. He will have a tune-up game in between there. They get Central Michigan at home before they come to Lincoln.
Chips are a good team. Better watch out. Those Chips are a good team.
2 years ago, I'd hear you.
Dan.
But if Nebraska wants to get to 8 wins this season, I don't think it can be understated how important that month of October is. It feels like if you want to have a discussion about maybe being able to make a run at the playoff or being where you think you should be in year 3, year 2 of Matt Rule and Dylan Raiola, you have to run the table in October, in my opinion.
And like I think we talked about this before, but for me, like the measuring stick of how the second half of the season goes is the game at Minnesota.
I was just about to say the same thing.
That sets the tone for that second half slate. And Nebraska has gone to Minnesota and laid an egg so many times and lost the PJ Flex team in games they should not have lost. Like, if they do that again this year, all that old stuff starts to creep back into the psyche. And I feel like if they can't get over that hurdle, you could be in for it in the second half of the season.
I think you can make the same debate about Cincinnati at the beginning of the season. To me, like on paper, this might be the most intriguing matchup of the entire season. They put up 25 points per game a year ago, but they're only bringing back 2 starters on their offense. So a lot of what you're seeing for the first time in this game. Right?
And it's their quarterback and running back, right?
Correct.
Sorsby
So
and Walker.
Brandon Sorsby comes back, and he's one of those guys. He had 18 touchdowns a year ago, and he rushed for another 9. So he's a true dual threat guy.
Indiana transfer.
And he brought in after Curtis Rourke transferred in from Indiana. But it's that Cincinnati team is going to be really interesting because of how many changes they have. They were really, really good at the beginning of the season, and then they just kind of fell apart at the end of the year. So we don't know which Cincinnati version of Cincinnati you're getting. But dual threat quarterback has shown you that he can move the ball. They can put up points. You've got a little bit of a revamped defense.
Like their running back. Don't know anything about the rest of the offense, though.
Yeah.
But listen, that's the same thing that Matt Rule is going to walk into because it's not like you've got all this film on this team. Now, from a star perspective point, Nebraska should probably blow Cincinnati out. But we've seen the case where Nebraska's walked in with a more talented roster and lost games plenty of times.
Turnovers, man. Turnovers are they're important for a reason. I mean, we talk about turnover margin for a reason because that's how less talented teams beat better teams is by forcing them into self-imposed mistakes.
Yeah, and you can make the argument that's how Nebraska's beaten itself for the better part of a decade and a half, right? So I honestly think that Cincinnati game, albeit the first one, probably going to tell you just about everything you need to know about this team this season. Like, do special teams look improved? People love talking about that first half against Colorado and about how bad that second half was. I rewatched that game yesterday. That second half wasn't as bad as we all remembered. Isaiah Nair missed two blocks on screen plays that would have went for touchdowns. They had 3 plays called back that would have went for touchdowns too. So, like, Nebraska still really hasn't put in that full game together, maybe outside of that Wisconsin matchup, but I think that was more Wisconsin probably
being bad.
Probably quitting halfway through more than anything. To me, this kind of feels like that game where you've got to be able to go out and put it on Cincinnati. Like, you have to make a statement.
It's a tone setter.
I think so too.
One thing I do want to mention real quick, and this was just a quick little research, so take with it what you will as a grain of salt. In year 3 under Matt Rule at both Temple and Baylor, year 3 Temple, they had that 27-10 win against Penn State week 1. And then year 3 at Baylor, granted it was against Stephen F. Austin, they won 56-17. So the Cincinnati game, we talk about year 3 Matt Rule being the big catalyst year. Looking at week 1, good record so far, but 2 completely different ends of the spectrum when it comes to the talent they're going up against.
Yeah, and listen, and that's kind of the same thing you have here. You have kind of a hodgepodge of that scenario with Cincinnati. They're clearly not going to have much Penn State level talent, but they're not going to have too much Stephen F. Austin talent either.
Exactly.
Yeah, and the point that we're really talking about is whether Nebraska has the easiest schedule in the Big Ten. And I don't know how you could argue against it. Like it is incredibly favorable. But listen, we've said this about Nebraska the last 2 years. Like, hey, the schedule's not bad. It looks pretty manageable.
But I think it's important to point out that it looks manageable because of the talent they've been able to acquire, though, right? Like, it's not like
we said it. Matt Rule's year one schedule looked manageable, and we didn't know anything about the talent they were going to have.
Right now, it looks manageable because of the way that it's set up. Because, like you said earlier today, they have their first 5 games at home.
Yeah.
Count off Cincinnati as a home game. You have to go to Maryland, and then you have to go to Minnesota. Not the easiest stretch, but you will have, a full week off in between those games to get that done.
No, you won't. Because that Minnesota game's a Friday game.
Ooh, look at you, knowing the schedule.
13. You have 13 days. Sorry, Logan. He'll never do that again.
Then you have Northwestern and USC at home. And then this is the only stretch of it that actually is truly tough. Because you've got UCLA and Penn State on back-to-back weeks. If you're unfamiliar with your geography,
you have USC the week before too. So
that's the toughest stretch. 3-game stretch.
Those last 4 games are the toughest part of the schedule. It's not even close. And Michigan's on the schedule.
But thankfully, it's 2 home, 2 away. Now it's the worst 2 away you could have. To Dan's point, going from LA to Happy Valley, that's the worst possible stretch you could probably get.
Those are on opposite sides of the country.
UCLA is in Los Angeles, if you didn't know.
But
how are these kids going to do their homework?
but to John's point and to Phil Still's point, I mean, when you get Michigan at home, you don't have Ohio State on the schedule. Yes, you have to go to Happy Valley, but you really
don't have Oregon.
You don't have Oregon. You only have one trip to the West Coast in this entire slate of things. It's kind of hard to see.
You don't have any
wins.
You've only got one trip to the East Coast. Well, I mean, Penn State, I guess. So you have 2, but
didn't the Big Ten say that they were going to try and limit teams from playing both LA teams in
same seasons? Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Yes, traditional Big Ten teams, not the West Coast teams.
Yeah,
Oregon and Washington will still be able to. But it's really hard to find less than 8 wins on this season. Like,
I think
and
so.
if one team could do it,
if
one program could do it, this program has obviously shown us it has the ability to do so. We're
an
not
incredible ability to find losses.
And listen,
marvelous.
The trend going around is 9 wins for this team.
That's what Sipple said.
And I think Sam did as well. Let's go all the way in on that. Say they win 9 games this year. With what we just said, the way this schedule stacks up, is it fair to think 9 wins may be disappointing, especially if they're able to start off 5-0 and beat Michigan?
I don't know. At this point in the history of Nebraska football, I don't think you could say 9 wins is ever disappointing. You cannot be disappointed.
Let me paint the picture for you. Those 9 wins come in the first 9 games.
So they start 9-0
and finish 9-3.
Then I'm peeved, and then I will be a little bit peeved.
There's discussion in early November about a college football playoff appearance. There's early discussion in early November about a Big Ten championship appearance. You miss out on all those, and you end up in the Las Vegas Bowl. I think there might be some pretty disappointed people around here if that happens.
Yes, in the moment.
Yeah.
And then
with that being said, would you sign a contract for it right now?
4 years down the road, you go, man, Nebraska won 9 games in 25. That was a good turnaround season. Sure. You know what I mean?
Well, and it also matters how next year goes.
Sure.
Right? Because that could absolutely be the launching pad into something super special.
I'm going to say my big thing, too, is I'll take 9 wins if it's a close loss to USC, not like a murderous blowout against Penn State.
It's like a 20-point loss.
And then, if we keep it...
that might be spot on.
I would be completely fine with a 20-point loss. That's
20 would warm my heart a little bit against Penn State. And then if we lose to Michigan, and those are our 3 losses, I'd feel a little bit more accomplished.
Hold on, you say that. But this would be another... Minnesota walked in 36 scholarships down and pulled off a win in Lincoln. Because, yes, they absolutely won a national championship 2 years ago. But a true freshman quarterback in his 4th start. No head coach in town to lead this team. And they walk into Lincoln and pull off that win. I don't think Nebraska fans should go, well, it's Michigan, and we should be okay losing to them. And remember what they did a couple years ago when they came down. This is not the same team. This is not even the same caliber of players.
Oh, yeah, and I know you hear that Sharon Moore blew up that entire coaching staff after Jim Harbaugh left. Just said, hey, you know what? I don't like any of these guys. No, he retained all of Jim Harbaugh's staff that he could.
I'll never forgive Blake Corum for the corn eating celebration.
Neither will I. Hey, if you missed
You had to bring it up.
if you missed our discussion about the schedule this season, check it out at SoundCloud.com/afterhours. 1620 is brought to you by Aloe Fiber. I've been rocking Aloe Fiber for a while now, and I'm telling you, it is the real deal. Speaking of deals, check this out. Right now, you can switch, stack, and save. Combine Aloe's internet with DirecTV and their new mobile service and lock in your price for 2 years. That's 2 years of premium service with no surprise charges. This deal is up for grabs until Labor Day, so you want to get in on it now. Don't wait. Go to aloefiber.com/stack tonight. Speaking of Michigan, if it doesn't work out, could Nick Saban be the next head coach of the Wolverines? We'll debate the other side of the break. 1620.
Hey, everybody. It's John here for Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear. Listen, you need good golf gear, right? Even if your swing's not great, you got to get out there with the boys and you got to look the part. And what does that mean? That means you need to go to 78th and Dodge and get yourself a Johnny O polo. I've been telling you about Johnny O for a while. Got a pullover from Johnny O. They're fabulous. Number one on the depth chart in my closet. They'll be number one on yours too. Just stop in, check out the great gear they have from Johnny O. You're going to love it. It's stretchy. It doesn't fade in the wash. It fits you right in all the right places, no matter how many of those cart beers you're getting on a weekly basis. Check them out, 78th and Dodge. Tell them After Hours sent you. They're going to treat you right no matter what. They love to hear it when the loyal listeners of the After Hours Lounge stop in. Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear, dressing Omaha for over 50 years.
Your Omaha area forecast presented by Funplex Water Park and Rides from the KETV Newswatch 7 Weather Center on 1620 The Zone.
Life is unpredictable, with seasonal storms and plumbing issues hiding around every corner. You can't predict the future. So when life happens, go with a trusted, reputable company like Paul Davis Restoration. Fire, water, mold, or storm damage can all be restored by Paul Davis Restoration. Don't live in the aftermath of tragedy. Restore your home today. Call Paul Davis Restoration at 402-553-0373 today.
Criminal, civil, personal. If you or a loved one is facing a lawsuit, let Williams Law represent you and your family today. With more than 20 years litigation experience in Nebraska, Williams Law will defend you with the dedication you deserve. If you're facing a DUI or if your son or daughter has been accused of a crime, Williams Law is here for you. Call 402-522-6317 to get a free, no-obligation consultation and to get the representation you deserve today.
Omaha knows baseball, and muscle recovery is no game. That's why they trust KRT Athletic Muscle Cream for pregame, mid-game performance, and post-game recovery. KRT uses transdermal science to help keep muscles loose, fight cramps fast, and get you back in the action. All natural, WADA compliant, trusted by elite athletes. So swing harder, run faster, recover smarter. KRT Athletic Muscle Cream, stay in the game. Available now at krtrelief.com.
It's a Monday on 1620 Zone, brought to you by Bellevue University. Head over to bellevue.edu. Register for classes. Become a Bruin tonight. Don't forget to punch in for the night shift tonight. Leave us a comment on the YouTube stream like Captain does. John's chiming in. He's hanging out with the night shift tonight as well. J-Man joins the discussion, as well as Kevin from Lakeland, Florida. We appreciate all you guys checking out the show tonight. We're still going to get to the Papio South Titans. Their football program will be in at 7:30. Jimmy Allen, John Schreiner, Logan Mosley, Dan Campion with you here tonight. Greg McElroy had a notable comment today at SEC Media Days. He said a notable source was adamant that Nick Saban will return to college football. And he said if it wasn't a notable source, he wouldn't even bother mentioning it. But it got me to thinking, if Nick Saban were to return to college football, it's really hard to believe for the run that he had at Alabama that he would ever return anywhere else in the SEC. Now,
he was at LSU too.
Obviously, he did coach at LSU and then returned to the SEC. Much different. I mean, he won one national championship and left LSU for the NFL. He retired from Alabama. So, two-part question here. If this is true, and Nick Saban is thinking about making a return to college football, is there a real world where Alabama may have asked him to step away? Because clearly if he still wants to coach.
I don't think so.
I don't either. But why would you leave the greener pastures of Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and then want to come back somewhere else?
Did they not name the field after him?
Yes,
exactly.
They gave him a statue.
Never.
I mean, he's basically
tell him to go if that's the case.
I was going to say second, but 1A to Paul Bear Bryant.
No, he's one.
I'll hear the argument.
I think in Alabama it might be Bear, but to everybody else,
yeah, exactly. Which I'll hear the argument. Yeah. That's fine because Bear was first. To everybody else, it's Nick Saban, right? So I get it. I'm not going to split hairs about that. But the question is, if he's coming back, and it's not to the SEC, there's nowhere else other than the Big Ten he'd end up, right?
He's not coming back.
You don't think so?
That's my answer. I think that Greg McElroy has a source who thinks he knows something and doesn't actually know. But I mean, hey, that's just me talking.
Well, let's
right?
play around with the
I'm just a guy
hypothetical.
on the radio. I don't think this is in any way true. I don't think he's coming back. I think he left at a time when the sport was changing a lot and it became incredibly hard to recruit at the level that he was recruiting at and to maintain that.
Hold on. Because the day that he retired, Alabama had more 5-star prospects than anywhere else in the country. So I don't want to hear that argument.
But that takes a lot of effort.
I agree.
And he's not a young man.
Which is the other interesting point. Because he'll be 74 in October.
Yeah.
Now, I think all of us said Belichick would never come back to coaching. I think the majority of us thought Mac Brown would never come back to coaching. Those two just happened to end up back in North Carolina. But let's go glass half full here. Obviously, there's a ton of pressure on Sharon Moore in Michigan this year, right? If they're not able to live up to Jim Harbaugh's level of standard, or maybe things start to fall apart, and you've got a talented freshman that you paid a ton of money to get to Ann Arbor. Nick Saban's ties, obviously, formerly to Michigan State, but to the Michigan area. Is Michigan the ideal spot for Nick Saban to end up in?
I don't think so.
What is it? What else would it be?
It's Michigan State. It is so obviously Michigan State. I mean, he coached there in the 90s before he went to LSU, and then he had a stint with the Browns and all that fun stuff from when I wasn't alive. Jonathan Smith right now, I don't think he's panning out for the Spartans right now. Aiden Childs, you can say what you want about him. I think that's the most obvious spot to take over is Michigan State. Ahead of LSU.
John just talked about maintaining the commitment level that you had at Alabama and the effort it's going to take that to get that in. You're not getting players like that to come to East Lansing. You're just not. So it's got to be, if it's Nick Saban coming back at 74, 75 years of age, it's got to be one of the premier stops in college football.
It's got to be ready-made for him.
The only other option I could think of, and this would have to be in the SEC, could you imagine Nick Saban on the sideline at Florida? Florida recruiting grounds, the attraction of the swamp.
That would be tough.
But you get the possibility to recruit the Florida landscape. I mean, listen, he's Nick Saban. You can recruit anywhere.
Don't you think?
But everything's built in and ready for you.
Maybe Florida reached out to Belichick. Obviously, Napier was getting colder and colder as the season went on. I feel like you are at Florida, you have to at least think about it.
I think you have to be a certain kind of coach at schools like Florida, Georgia, Alabama. There's got to be an attraction long term there. And if you're Nick Saban, because listen, the attraction for Bill Belichick is he gets to hand it off to his son when he's done. And maybe North Carolina found that attractive. The people in Tallahassee, the people in Gainesville, they're not finding that attractive.
Kent State.
Would be interesting, wouldn't it? This is all modern.
Missouri State.
I don't think he's going to the SEC whatsoever.
I don't think so either.
Because let me tell you.
Would Alabama remove his name from the field if he did?
Yes, they would.
I think they would too.
If there's one thing that the SEC does better than any other conference,
it's petty.
Yes, it is the pettiest conference of all time.
Greg Sankey, 402-951-1620.
Yeah, call me, Greg.
Well, you're adamant that Lincoln Riley's going to get fired at USC, or he's going to be asked to leave, or he's going to leave of his own volition. So
hold on, before you finish that sentence. What about Nick Saban screams LA to you?
None of it.
Yeah.
Except winning.
But here's the other thing. So you just mentioned the SEC is real petty. That Auburn job's probably opening up at the end of the year this year.
Yeah, Hugh's not doing so well.
Would it not be the funniest thing ever if Nick Saban was the next head coach at Auburn?
It'd be hilarious.
I would love it.
But do you really want to see him and Miss Terry laid out in the streets like that?
Yeah, listen.
Do you really want?
It would get real serious down there.
It would. Nick Saban would have to have 24-hour armed guards around his house.
I actually think it's if he comes back, which I still don't think is happening. I just don't feel like
I don't think it's.
I
don't
feel it.
SEC.
It's probably something like his home state school of West Virginia, a smaller school in the Sun Belt, like something low pressure, low intensity.
Yeah, because this could
but
just
he still wants to win championships.
But this could just be, hey, life's not as easy as away from football as I thought it was going to be. I miss the camaraderie. I miss the locker room. I miss recruiting. I miss doing all the things I hated 5 months ago.
But West Virginia's not a small job.
Well, and they just hired Rich Rodriguez back, so it would have to go historically bad for that to be the case.
Well, and let's pack this into a box just a little bit and bring it back down to reality for just a second. We've already mentioned the man is about to be 74 years old.
Which is why I don't think it's happening.
In all honesty, how long do you think he coaches for? Because he can't coach past probably the age of 80.
Well, to make it clear, he's 1 year older than Mac Brown was. And people thought Mac Brown was way too old to take the North Carolina
He's 1
job
year older than Bill Belichick.
4 years ago. Exactly. Yeah. So I'm with you. I don't think it's if he wants to win at the level and he wants to come back and he wants to get serious about it, I think it would have to be a Big Ten school. But if he's coming back just to have something to do, essentially, he wants to Doug Gottlieb this thing, I'm with you. I think it would have probably either be Kent State or a smaller level school. And we better get a TV show out of it because I think it'd be pretty great.
What about Virginia Tech? I don't know. That just randomly popped to my head. Brent Pry.
Yeah,
he's obviously
on the hot seat.
The hot seat.
According to CBS Sports, the second hottest seat in the country.
Middle Tennessee.
The only reason he's going to the ACC is so that he can F up Bill Belichick's life.
See, that's what I'm thinking. Why not?
Hey, Texas State's joining the Pac-12. They're going to need a big-time head coach.
What if you got Nick Saban on the blue turf?
Boise State.
At Boise State.
Guys, none of this is happening.
Could
None
be
of it.
incredible to see. Hey, if you missed our discussion about Nick Saban and his potential next spot, check it out at soundcloud.com/afterhours1620 or check out 1620thezone.com under our radio replay page. Greg Sankey addressed the media today. Take some pop shots at Tony Petitti. We'll talk about that a whole lot more on the other side of the break. 1620 Zone.
Hey, everybody. John here for Bob at Williams Law. Look, legal troubles, they are no fun. They're called legal troubles for a reason. And if you have legal troubles in your life, and especially if those legal troubles involve a minor who happens to live in your house that has run afoul of the law over these dog days of summer, then Bob Williams is the man to call. He's going to give you a free, no obligation legal consultation. Your first meeting with Bob, it's on the house. You get your questions answered, you get some advice, you get set up for success for the day in court. No matter if it's criminal or civil, Bob can handle whatever is standing in your way. If you want free legal advice, your first meeting's free. It's a free, no obligation legal consultation from Bob at Williams Law. Check out williamslawllc.com.
The real game changer in college athletics, it's coaches. And at Bellevue University, there is an experienced team of coaches who know you both as an athlete and as a person. Plus, there are student coach advisors who are there to provide individualized academic support every step of the way as you progress towards your degree. At Bellevue University, you're not just another athlete. You belong. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
It's golf season, and Jerry Ryan is your one-stop shop to get out on the links this summer. With options from Johnny O, Roan, Peter Millar, and Mizzen and Main, you'll be the sharpest dressed guy in your foursome. Stop in and let John, Dan, Jake, Deanne, and Monier the Tailor get you ready for the golf outing circuit or your big wedding this summer.
At Jerry Ryan's, we bring out the best in you.
Ready to make a positive impact in a young boy's life? Join Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Midlands and become a mentor where you are matched up with a boy in the greater Omaha area. Over 50 boys are waiting for someone like you to guide and inspire them. Visit mentoromaha.org and sign up to make a difference in a boy's life. Don't wait. Make a lasting impact today.
It's 6:35 on a Monday night here on 1620 Zone, brought to you by Bellevue University. If you're looking for the ideal college experience this fall, head over to bellevue.edu and register for classes today. Logan, do you know where the breaking news drop is on the board?
Yes, I do.
This is the part where you push it.
I am looking for it right now. I see it.
We were just discussing where Nick Saban may potentially be headed to if he were to come back to college football.
The University of Nebraska Kearney.
One very in source on a message board.
Somebody who knows people who know.
In Baton Rouge, Louisiana says, mark this post. He will be back in Baton Rouge to coach the Tigers next year if we don't make the playoffs. I know people who know. And listen, if it's on a message board on the internet, it must be true. Speaking of the SEC, it's been SEC Media Days kicking off today. Greg Sankey opened up Media Days as he always does. And we give him a lot of flack just because some of the things he says are super political, just the way he handles things. He's really good at addressing a room. Like, he's done this before.
You think?
And I always forget that whenever he stands up in front of a podium. I'm like, he's pretty good at this job.
Yeah, he's a pro.
Is your mic on?
I don't know. I can't hear my own mic.
There it is.
He's a pro.
Yeah, he started off thanking everybody for showing up, obviously, but then he thanked the College Football Hall of Fame for basically moving the goalpost to allow Mike Leach to get into the College Football Hall of Fame and to open up in a time where everybody wants to talk about NIL, everybody wants to talk about college football playoff, everybody wants to talk about expansion, everybody wants to talk about realignment. To make sure you take time out of your day to do that just kind of shows you how really dialed in Greg Sankey is at this job. And by the way, football's at the top of his priority.
Yeah, you have that job for a reason.
Yeah.
Because you can manage the message. Like that's your number one job.
And he understands what feeds the horse, right? Because he said college athletics is not dead. He said it's strained, which I think is a really interesting way to look at it. I've never been the sport is dead, amateurism is needed, otherwise it's useless. But to talk about it in that way, that I think it's almost poetic. Like, there is hope for this. Like, we can get this fixed. And I thought it was incredible that he also made sure to point out we need to make a meaningful process towards a degree. Because one of the biggest issues right now with the transfer portal is a lot of those credits that are getting transferred aren't transferable. And that's something that I think needs to get fixed as well. Because, I don't know if you know this, over 90% of athletes will go pro in something other than sports.
I think I saw that somewhere.
So the fact that he does have the wherewithal to have his finger on the pulse of NIL and collectives and the changing of the guard in college football and battling Tony Petitti in the Big Ten, we'll get to that in a minute, to still care about the athletes getting degrees, I think is really instrumental in this whole process.
Yeah. With the credits thing, I mean, I don't know. Yes, it's college football and it matters, and education matters, and that's supposed to be the ultimate goal of this whole thing, is to get people an education.
But we're seeing an all-time downtick in people going to college too. So kind of glass half full type situation.
And it's supposed to matter. It's gotten overshadowed a lot by the money, because the money's become the elephant in the room. And for him to be thinking about, like, he's supposed to be thinking about this. This is what he's supposed to do, is to talk about all of the things that have to do with college athletics. I think it is important to understand the credit transfer world, and why, if you transfer from Sam Houston State, you don't get credits at Northwestern, right? Like, those are different academic
Taking shots at
institutions.
Sam Houston State, huh?
I'm just speaking facts, my
Bearcats
man.
with a K.
So there's a lot to consider for players who enter the transfer portal. And
It doesn't feel like those things are being considered, though.
no, the number with the dollar sign in front of it is the primary consideration.
And can I play?
Can we just say what this really is? It's Greg Sankey trying to put lipstick on a pig because he knows that his conference
Like
is
at
one
Arkansas?
of. Yes, literally. Arkansas is a great example.
Pig suey.
We didn't need to do that. Keep
No,
going.
we did not. I actually want to leave right now because of that.
So did Dana Altman.
That's why I've always loved Dana. But no,
Hey, one of my best friends is an Arkansas fan. All right.
Hey,
So you want to leave too?
I've been down to Fayetteville before.
All right, make your point.
My point is that Greg Sankey has to say this. There's nothing forcing his hand to say it except for the fact that he understands that his conference is the one who's really screwing this up for everybody right now.
That's not what
because, I bet he doesn't because he's Greg Sankey. But he's the one his conference is the one that's giving out all the cash, who's giving out the McDonald's bags and saying, well, we can find a way for the NIL collective to get you paid. We'll figure it out. Don't worry. I'll protect anyone in my conference, but if anyone else does anything wrong, I'm going to tattle and cheat and be mean.
He does not have to say anything of the sort.
But yeah, and I think that's
Yes, he
important.
does.
I think that's important to point out, Logan, though, because this was the preemptive part. He wasn't asked a question yet. This is how he opened his press conference, and then he was asked about the college football playoff. And Greg Sankey said we could have the 12, the 14, the 16 team college football playoff. That translates to, I'm sick of talking about this. By the way, this is what we could have. Here's the options. Then he kind of took a shot at Tony Petitti in the Big Ten. I thought this was interesting. He said, they're standing firm on the conference champions having the seats at the table. He said, we'll have 5+7, 5+9, or 5+11. And he was asked if the next college football playoff agreement would be in the next 2 years. And again, he said, the next agreement should be, or if it should be another 2-year agreement, because this agreement was only 2 years long. He said it should be a 12-year agreement with 2-year look-in period. So we could put this on paper, but every 2 years, we're going to look in and go, okay, did something happen? Has there been a rule change outside of the playoff or outside of the realm of sports that we need to look at and change? I think that's the best approach. Maybe not every 2 years. That seems a little excessive and probably invasive.
Yeah.
I thought it was very interesting that he said this next agreement is going to be a 12-year contract, though. It's probably because he's sick of fielding questions like this.
Well, how long did the BCS run was 8 years,
8 years,
right?
yep.
And then we had the 2-team playoff for
the 4-team union.
The 4-team
for 4 years.
For 4 years. So I don't know. A 12-year agreement seems like a long time because a lot can change in 12 years.
Think about how much different college football is now than 12 years ago.
Right. So I don't know that a 12-year agreement is right. But the reason he wants a 2-year look-in period is in case there's a period of time where the SEC isn't getting enough teams in. We need to look at this. We got to get more teams into the playoff. That's why he wants an ability to change it every 2 years. But at least that's my opinion. That's the way I read it. I think 12 years is too long to do anything in this landscape of college football. You can't tell me what the sport's going to look like in 12 years. You have no idea.
Well, and I think the 2-year look-in period makes sense too because we just saw the Pac-12 fold. There's a good chance that it's coming back, and then it's going to fold again.
Back. It's back.
The Pac-12. Oh, okay, fine. The Pac-12 is back
with Texas State.
It's going to fold again eventually because they're not going to have enough money to keep a conference running in the way that it's supposed to. And there's a really good chance that we're going to see some ACC teams scamper off. We're going to see some of the teams that are in the now bloated Big Ten probably scamper off and do their own thing or join up with another conference.
Or Division I's going to split in half.
The picture that we have right now is not the picture that we're going to have in 2, 4, 6, 8 years down the road.
He was asked about, Greg Sankey was asked about revenue sharing and what's consistent about the questions he's getting. And he said, the only thing that's been consistent is complaints and concerns. And he kind of said it with a smile and a half joke, and obviously just said that, nobody wants to deal with it, but everybody has to. And then he was asked what it will take to get the Big Ten and the SEC to come to a consensus and avoid the stalemate over decision being made about college football's playoff. And he said, I would never give away how close we are to anything in a press conference. We had a different view around allocation, so essentially how many teams each conference would get, saying that the Big Ten has the idea about mandatory seats in the college football playoff. The SEC does not. Essentially saying, hey, that 4-4-3-2-6-9 divided by 18, 22, 36 was the Big Ten Tony Petitti. We, on this side of the line, have all been okay with the 5 conference championships and then 11 at-large bids. So it kind of feels like that's what's holding up the decision about who's getting how many seats. And he just put the ball in the Big Ten Tony Petitti's court.
Yeah, I mean, we've argued this so many times and about, who should have the most seats, where should the seats be. And from my perspective, the SEC is right.
I agree.
There should
I've
not
been adamant.
be.
I was fine with 12 in this setup from the beginning.
Yeah. If you win your conference, fine. Even if it's a weak conference, okay, whatever. You get in.
Like
That's
the
fine.
ACC.
Like we do in basketball. Every conference gets one guaranteed representative. And after that, it's up to your resume.
The only thing, my only knock against that is at what point does the Sun Belt or the MAC go? We have a conference. We play football. Why aren't we important?
This is my
We
point.
have half decent teams.
I think that's the only
We let the
depending on the year,
Northeast
we have
Conference
half
get an
decent
automatic bid to the
teams.
NCAA basketball conference.
And everything about the college football playoff keeps being reverted back to March Madness because it's really the only thing that pales in comparison, right? It's Division I. It's a tournament. But I think we forget that's about the only similarities that there are. And
there's about 3 times as many teams in Division I
exactly.
basketball.
And it's so frustrating when everybody's like, well, March Madness. Well, it's like, yeah, that's great, but it's a completely different source. Like that's not even the same sport. There's more teams. There's too many moving parts. And I honestly think that's why we're going to see this number balloon up to 24.
What if we did 14? You have the 4 Power 4 and 3 best Group of 5, Group of 6, whatever you want to call it, champions.
No.
That make it.
Absolutely not. This is the problem.
I'm just throwing this out there. I want to hear what you say.
No. Your thought process is what I was just saying, but it's just like, who really wants to see Ohio take on Georgia? Anybody really want to see that?
Well, why not give them like a play-in round?
Exactly.
All the non-power conferences get matched up against each other, and then they move into the 16-team field.
You want the answer you're going to get?
Money, TV.
And we care about the safety of the athletes,
Right.
John.
Uh-huh.
I didn't become a radio host / producer to do math, guys. This is all too confusing.
Now, and listen,
But if we're talking about fairness and access, then shouldn't those conference champions get a chance?
I agree, and I think that's what we're moving towards. And I think that's why we see this thing balloon up to 24, and I think it's everything you guys just proposed. But my question is, who wants that?
I think 24 is
Me,
too much.
I want it.
Do you? Why?
Because it's more football to watch.
You want to watch Kent State get beat by 50 by Alabama?
No, I want to watch Kent State play Coastal Carolina for the right to get beat by 50 by Alabama.
People were
I want to watch Kent State on a turquoise field.
People were complaining 2 years ago about the 14 playoff because the semifinals were always blowouts. And I think that's the moral of the story. Is like, I don't think we're ever going to have anybody be happy.
But okay,
Nobody liked the BCS, but here's the thing: is the 2 teams that ended up in the college football playoff finals every year would have been the BCS game, by the way. And now we have this situation where it's like, okay, do we let the Division II national champions in because they technically want to
Do
turn in
it.
the
It's
conference?
more football to watch.
here's the thing I think you're missing in all this, Jimmy, and it's that you have these teams. You have the big thing that people want, like the 24 and stuff like that, is for the Cinderella runs because that's what everybody wants.
It's not happening in football.
No, it's not going to happen. But the thing I feel like you're missing in all of this is when you have teams like I'm throwing this out there. This would never happen, but Kent State and Coastal Carolina.
Okay.
That is still going to be a good matchup. Not this year, obviously, because Kent State's the worst team that might ever get fielded. But I'm talking about something
Bring
like
back Nick Saban.
just
Calling for it,
Why
man.
not? Well, throw out the idea of like James Madison a couple years ago. Obviously not
Who's their head coach?
Kurt Signetti.
Thank you.
Big Sig.
Hey, obviously not going to be beating Ohio State any year, but they might put up a half decent fight against a mid-level team like Ole Miss that year. Like I think that's the point that I'm trying to make. I'm wording it so terribly.
How dare you call Ole Miss mid-level?
When I say mid-level, I mean like upper mid-level when it comes to top 25. Like the upper echelon, I put them in about the middle, that 20 to 10 range of a good team, not going to be winning a national championship anytime soon, but still a very good team. And it fixes the bowl system that we have right now because the bowl system's all out of whack. I think that's one of the ways you fix it.
You want to know why you're incorrect in that statement?
I would love to hear it.
Because that head coach at JMU got Division I level talent at Indiana They still had a decent season. Then when it came to the playoff, they still got boat raced by Notre Dame in the playoff. They only lost by 10, but it took 2 late touchdowns for them to even get even remotely close to back into that game. So I wholeheartedly disagree with that. Hey, if you missed our discussion about Greg Sankey in the college football playoff, check it out at soundcloud.com/afterhours1620. It was brought to you by Controlled Comfort Heating and Air. Just because the temperature's going up outside doesn't mean it needs to go up inside. If you're starting to see a little bit of sweat behind your windows, or maybe starting to get a little hot around the collar and your temperature in your house is 66, that can't be right. You need to get a maintenance appointment set up with Controlled Comfort. Maybe it's like me. It wasn't my AC that was going out. It was the switch on the wall. And if your thermostat is acting up, it is going to cause a problem with your AC. And you need to get looked at by Controlled Comfort tonight. Head over to ControlledComfort.com. Set up a maintenance appointment tonight. And Ndamukong Suh hangs up the cleats. We talk about it on the other side of the break. 1620 The Zone.
Hey, everybody, it's John here for Paul Davis Restoration. And if you have problems with your home, be it smoke damage, maybe there's, that chicken got a little extra crispy. Now you got a big black spot in the ceiling of your kitchen. Or maybe after these recent round of storms we've had, there's a little seepage in the basement. Or you were worried about some previous damage that may not have been cleaned up properly, and there could be mold behind those walls. Well, if you got any of those concerns, call this number, 402-553-0373, and keep it stored in your phone, because if there's an emergency at your home, Paul Davis can be there within 30 minutes to help you restore that home to the way it was before any of the damage happened. Give him a call, 402-553-0373. It's Paul Davis Restoration.
Are you ready for the game changer of the day? Bellevue University has a new state-of-the-art 72,000 square foot field house featuring premium courts, generous fan seating, top-tier locker rooms, dedicated athletic training, and a strength and conditioning space, plus a whole lot more. It's not just a venue, it's a home court advantage. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
Why waste happy hour at 3 when you can get late night happy hour at Goose's? From 8 to 10, stop in for $1 off draft beers and $1 off all appetizers. Stop by our location in historic downtown Papillion, where there's always something going on. Music bingo or the 25 wing challenge, where you eat 25 wings in 10 minutes and they're free. Ditch the same old happy hour for the late night experience at Goose's Bar and Grill, 129 North Washington in Papillion, where there's always something going on.
That stain in the carpet.
Hey, look down here, buddy.
Dust that keeps on piling up.
Eyes over here.
A dirty office screams to be seen by your customers.
Look at me.
Christensen Cleaning can clean it up overnight and with a plan based on your budget. And they schedule regular inspections to make sure that you continue to be happy with their service. You take care of your customers.
How can I help you today?
And Christensen Cleaning will take care of your office. Visit ChristiansenClean.com to request a proposal.
.656 on a Monday night here on 1620 The Zone, brought to you by Bellevue University. If you're looking for the ideal college experience, head over to bellevue.edu and register tonight. Don't forget to punch in for the night shift tonight. Leave us a comment on YouTube. Where before we get to the social media soundbite, I want to get to this. J-Man weighs in and he says, MLB question. The Rays are sold for $1.7 billion to the top seller. What are the chances they stay in Florida? 50-50 or worse? I don't think. Listen, if they're getting sold by a guy that lives in Jacksonville, it's probably a reason. It's probably because they're moving and he doesn't want to deal with it outside of Florida and deal with the out-of-state taxes. They're probably not going to be able to put it back, obviously. And not like those fans really showed up in droves anyway. I don't think there's any way whoever buys the Rays keeps them in Tampa.
You think there's a Jacksonville Rays now?
No, I don't think they start in Florida. The guy that owns it is from Jacksonville,
Florida.
Yes, and I think he's selling it because they probably can't get a deal done with the city for a new building, and he's probably looking at the market and goes, "Well, I'm not getting this funding anywhere else. Let's just ship them somewhere and sell this thing."
Nashville.
Probably going to be one of those cities that puts in a bid for it. I'm sure. I mean, listen, they've got everything else. The hockey team has got one of the best attendances in the NHL. The Titans, even when they suck, get a good turnout. Like, it's not like that's a great sports town, and there's just more and more music. It's a growing town. And there's more and more money in music being poured in. I don't hate that.
Well, it says the guy who's buying it is from Jacksonville.
Oh, good.
So, I mean, listen.
I
can see them moving to Jacksonville, honestly.
I'll tell you this.
It's a little closer to Atlanta where the Braves rule the roost, but
that community, though, like the Jacksonville community, even when they suck, they rally around the Jaguars. Like on NFL Sundays, you see Jaguars flags on almost every other house up and down A1A, basically.
But, like, I mean, Charlotte's a big enough market to host a baseball team.
Yeah, but like, I know they're bad, but people don't go to the Hornets games.
What about Nashville?
That's what John said. Thanks for listening to the show.
Well,
I would say it's greater than 50% that they stay in Florida.
I'm going to say it's better than 100% chance that they don't come to Omaha for anybody.
Yeah,
that's your
don't worry
question.
about that.
All right, it's time for the social media soundbite. Logan, what do we got?
So, yep, this is from a mix of Motown Sports and Crunch Time Sports here. Just the other day, a little bit of a highlight reel, if you will, from the NFL Top 100 players talking about the greatest Nebraska player of all time, Ndamukong Suh.
It is the social media soundbite tonight, brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing. Listen, Ndamukong Suh hangs up his cleats, and Logan, you made an interesting statement at the beginning. The greatest Nebraska football player of all time. And I think for a generation, that's probably the easiest answer, right? For the guys that missed out on Crouch, the guys that missed out on Frazier, it's got to be Suh, right? Like
I think he's
I don't even know who else would be second on that list.
Definitely Nebraska's best defensive player of all time.
Who would be? I think the only argument for that is Rich Glover, just because of what he did in the game of the century, 20+ tackles in that game, and obviously everything he did on top of that.
Ndamukong Suh won basically every award in college football.
He had more tackles.
He was top 4 in Heisman voting too in 2009.
So was Rich Glover.
I don't know who that is. So
You got homework tonight.
All right.
YouTube.
All right.
He had more sacks than Alabama's entire defensive line that year, that 2009 season where Bama won the national championship.
And people were asking if Gerald McCoy was a better defensive lineman than Ndamukong Suh.
Spoiler alert, he was not. If they win that Big 12 championship game, obviously it changes a lot of things. I would be really interested to see how much the discussion around him and his all-time status would be discussed. Because obviously he had the sacks and dominated the game and controlled the pace of the offense. But like when you go back and watch that kick, when the 1 second gets put back on, his hand is maybe 6 inches away from blocking that field goal. So if he blocks that kick and they win that game after all the drama of the 1 second and playing for Bo Pelini and Nebraska goes on to play Boise State in the Fiesta Bowl, like the discussion about him maybe being the best defensive player of all time is probably a realistic question some people.
Is he not the greatest defensive lineman of all time in college football?
There's a lot of people who throw Aaron Donald's name out there. I mean,
for college?
Oh yeah, I mean he was
unreal.
I know,
but the problem is he played for Pitt, right?
Yeah,
like he didn't get as many national stages as Nebraska did, but he's definitely top 5 in my opinion.
Probably, yeah.
And it's kind of hard to argue otherwise.
No matter what happened, Craig James still wouldn't be able to pronounce his name.
It's still to this day. Hey, if you missed the social media soundbite, check it out at soundcloud.com/afterhours1620. It was brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing. If your company needs help with social media marketing or online advertising, check out pixelfiremarketing.com for more details today. They'll have a whole team manage your social media presence, entice your ideal client, and engage your brand online. Check out pixelfiremarketing.com for more details tonight. We'll be right back. Buying or selling on the other side of the break. 1620 zone. Hey, everybody, it's Jimmy Allen here for AX Plumbing. Home or residential, they can do it all. And if you're getting into that part of the year where you're starting to see your drain in the basement start to back up, maybe it's some tree roots, let AX Plumbing come out. Water jet your line. That's right. They're going to push all the tree branches, all the debris out into the street, remove all of that unwanted need in your pipes tonight. Check out axpservice.com for more details tonight.
The real game changer in college athletics, it's coaches. And at Bellevue University, there is an experienced team of coaches who know you both as an athlete and as a person. Plus, there are student coach advisors who are there to provide individualized academic support every step of the way as you progress towards your degree. At Bellevue University, you're not just another athlete. You belong. We're for you. And for college sports, visit BUBruins.com.
Criminal, civil, personal. If you or a loved one is facing a lawsuit, let Williams Law represent you and your family today. With more than 20 years litigation experience in Nebraska, Williams Law will defend you with the dedication you deserve. If you're facing a DUI or if your son or daughter has been accused of a crime, Williams Law is here for you. Call 402-522-6317 to get a free, no-obligation consultation and to get the representation you deserve today.
Are you watching the water slowly seep down the drain again? Go with a local solution. Go with Trusted. AX Plumbing is here to help. With over 20 years of serving the metro area, AX Plumbing can do it all, from residential to commercial. They can even help with the new build installation service. Head over to axpservice.com today. There's financing available to qualified buyers and military discount too. Check out axpservice.com today. AX Plumbing. They'll leave your place cleaner than they found it.
We still need to get this song removed from the playlist. Hey, this is the After Hours Lounge brought to you by our friends at Pyramid Contractors. You know, become number one in Omaha for over a decade by accident. Head over to pyramidroof.com. Get a free estimate for your roof, your windows, your gutters, your siphon. They do it all. Check out pyramidroof.com tonight. It's time for Buy or Sell. So we get ready for the Home Run Derby, the All-Star Game. We'll get you all the details going on there. As Pat McAfee is the MC tonight. Our MC is Logan Mosley. Logan, what do we got?
Our first question involves your 49ers.
My 49ers.
Unfortunate to claim that you're a part of that fan base. Juwan Jennings has asked to be traded by the 49ers or to get a new deal. Now, it's important to note that Garrett Wilson just signed a new contract. 4 years, I believe, $109 million, if I am correct. I don't have it pulled up with me exactly. You got it, Dan?
Why would you mention money?
Because he wants a new contract after signing a 2-year deal following his Super Bowl performance. Buy or sell, the Niners should move on from the 28-year-old wide receiver.
I was so mad when they re-signed Brandon Ayuk for all that money because Juwan Jennings is just the same guy. So why wouldn't you just let Brandon Ayuk find greener pastures? But now you've given Brandon Ayuk all that money, so you can't give it to Juwan Jennings. So I guess you got one of the two. Let him go. I mean, you've already let everybody else go. You've already paid your quarterback, so now you've delegated your money into one spot. Whatever.
This is how it goes with roster management in the NFL right now. I mean, if you have a quarterback who's coming off his rookie deal and you like him, you get punished. Like, the rest of your roster is going to suffer now. And like I've said before, unless you have one of the top 3 or 4 guys in the league, you're not going to win. Like, if you have a veteran quarterback who's a mid-level veteran, sorry.
Do you put Jalen Hurts as a top 3 or 4 guy in the league?
At this point, I think you have to. I mean,
I don't know if I do. So you're, Mahomes is clearly number 1, right? We can all agree on that.
Yeah.
Who would you put 2 and 3? I think I'd put Josh Allen 2.
So this was crazy.
I think I'd put Joe Burrow 3.
All weekend.
No Lamar Jackson?
I'd be tough to.
Hold on, because I'm going to tell you, all weekend on CBS and Fox Sports, in between this great flagship radio station that we have here and 1180 next door, that was the conversation that they kept on having. And it was teeing me up all weekend because they kept on going Mahomes, Allen, Jackson, and Burrow. They're like, those are the 4 best quarterbacks. That is your tier 1 of quarterbacks in the NFL right now. They're the only ones who can be considered tier 1. And then maybe I'll hear your argument about Jalen Hurts being in the very best of tier 2. He just won a Super Bowl?
He dominated tier 1 guy, by the way.
I don't think that's tier 2 material right there.
I don't know. I think that, they're going to have to. Right? They can't give him any more money without getting into big salary cap hole. Like, you're going to have to let him go.
See you later, Juwan. Thanks for your services.
You know what? As a Rams fan, I want you guys to sign him on a 4-year, $50 million deal. I think that'd be awesome. From a realistic standpoint,
Garrett Wilson got 4 years, 130. By the way,
4 years, 130. I'm looking at it right now. His cap hit for this year is $4.25 million, and it goes down to 2.3, 2.3, 2.3, and then 1.096 in 2029.
It gave Garrett Wilson 4 years, $130 million to have Justin Fields throwing him the football, by the way. What else we got, Logan?
Dan's not here to defend that. So We'll move on. Ryan Kalkbrenner got the start, played 30 minutes, had 10 boards, and had the game-winning block in the Summer League this weekend. Buy or sell? Is he going to get the call-up sooner than later?
Listen, I think the case for him and Baylor Shireman is they're going to probably be on a pitch clock from here on out the rest of the season. The Celtics need another wing player. Baylor with Jason Tatum going down, Baylor is going to be a necessity in that locker room. I don't think he's going to get a ton of work. I think he's going to play sparingly throughout the rest of the summer. They love them some Ryan Kalkbrenner in Charlotte right now. I think he's going to not only start for some sparingly games in the summer league, he might be their day one starter when the season opens up.
Yeah, I think he probably makes the roster, and he's like he's a rotation guy. That's what I see for at least the first year.
Ooh, okay.
Wrong. Charlotte literally just traded away both of their centers that they had on their roster. They drafted Ryan Kalkbrenner. They're not toting him out in Summer League to say, look at our shiny new toy. They're saying, all right, we need you to go out there and prove that you're a dominant post player because you are going to be our day one.
And that block to end that game out on the perimeter is going to go a long, long way for him because that's exactly what people want him to be. You can show he's got that versatility and he can slide his feet and get out there and defend on the perimeter if he needs to. That might make him a lot of money.
And to give you a point, John, that is what Charlotte should be doing, is they should be sitting him down and making him a rotational player to get him big time experience so that he can understand the flow of an NBA game a little bit better than literally playing college basketball in the mountains light. But they're not going to do that because they're Charlotte and they make really, really, really poor decisions.
The one thing I do want to say is I feel like a lot of people would agree with me when it comes to this. When it talks to big guys going from college to NBA,
I think a lot of people would agree with me. What a humble brag.
That it is very, very difficult for a big, tall guy like Ryan Kalkbrenner to actually succeed in the NBA when his offensive game isn't like the most purest thing ever. He's a good defender. This kind of reminds me of Zach Edey last year, right? Not like gonna be this highlight playmaker, but gonna get the job done. And he struggled at different times last year.
Which is what they drafted.
Exactly. So I think seeing these highlights already is a very good sign for the Charlotte Hornets. And when I'm looking at ESPN's roster, they have Kalkbrenner and Miles Plumlee listed as the only centers on the team. They also have Taj Gibson. So I think they might be able to run Taj Gibson at the 5.
Well, Taj Gibson's 96 years old.
Exactly.
What do we have for number 3?
So Mason Plumlee's not the spry chicken either.
No, he's not. In the MLB All-Star game, Shohei Ohtani is hitting leadoff, and the big dumper, Cal Raleigh, is hitting cleanup for the AL. Buy or sell? This is a smart move by American League skipper Aaron Boone.
I think it's a great move. Listen, I mean, Cal Raleigh's the hot hand right now, and if you can get one guy on and Shohei Ohtani, who still has one of the highest on-base percentages in all of the majors, and you can get somebody to run him home, no better option right now statistically than Cal Raleigh.
I got a bone to pick. If Taj Gibson's 96, I'm 100.
Correct. In NBA years, you would be. How old are you? 43?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're 1 year younger than LeBron.
He's 40.
We talk about how old LeBron is. You're 1 year younger than LeBron. So yes, you're 100 years old in basketball.
No, I do not accept, and I will not answer this question in protest.
All right, that's going to do it for Buy or Sell tonight. If you missed it, check it out at SoundCloud.com/afterhours1620. It was brought to you by our friends at Controlled Comfort Heating and Air. Get out of the heat and get inside where you're supposed to have air conditioning, but if it's acting up a little bit or getting a little hot inside, that means something's wrong with your AC unit. Have Controlled Comfort come out and take a look at it. Set up a maintenance appointment so you don't have to worry about your AC or your furnace ever again. Check out ControlledComfort.com to set that appointment up tonight. We're talking Titan football. Papio South, their head coach, Tim Clemenger, is in studio next. We come back. 1620 The Zone. Hey, everybody, it's Jimmy Allen here for Bob Williams with Williams Law. Has your son or daughter found themselves in the passenger seat of a vehicle or maybe driving a car that was involved with law enforcement on private property, and now they have a day in court, but you don't know how to handle the situation? You need to work with a lawyer the caliber of Bob Williams. Head over to WilliamsLawLLC.com tonight. Bob is going to sit you and your family down, walk you and the minor in your life through the process, explain their rights, and get you ready for your big day in court. Head over to WilliamsLawLLC.com for more details and get a free estimate tonight.
Your Omaha area forecast presented by Funplex Water Park and Rides from the KETV Newswatch 7 Weather Center on 1620 The Zone.
Are you ready for the game changer of the day? Bellevue University has a new state-of-the-art 72,000 square foot field house featuring premium courts, generous fan seating, top-tier locker rooms, dedicated athletic training, and a strength and conditioning space, plus a whole lot more. It's not just a venue, it's a home court advantage. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
Heat waves are crashing all over the Midwest. Beat the heat with Controlled Comfort. If your AC is aging and you have concerns, Controlled Comfort is your one-stop shop for all your HVAC issues. Let Controlled Comfort's comfort specialists come out, diagnose your issue, resolve it, or replace that old AC unit with one that'll keep you cool in the months ahead. Head over to ControlledComfort.com today.
Controlled Comfort keeps it under control.
Visit jrhailcheck.com to find out when storms last pounded your roof. You have a limited time to file a claim. Go to jrhailcheck.com.
It's 7:20 on a Monday night here on 1620 The Zone, brought to you by Pyramid Contractors. You don't become number one in Omaha for over a decade by accident. Head over to pyramidroof.com and get a free estimate for your windows, your roof, your gutters, your siding. They do it all. Check out pyramidroof.com tonight. It's time to talk to the Papio South Titans. Their head coach, Tim Clemenger, is in studio with us tonight. Coach, thanks for being here.
Appreciate you guys having us. Thanks.
You brought Derek Jones, Caleb Bailey, and Grant Beckenauer with you tonight, guys. We'll get to you in a minute. Coach, I want to talk about last year for a second. You get off to a little bit of a slow start. Get out of the gate with an 0-3 start, but you finished 4-6. How do you sum up the 24-25 campaign?
Yeah, frustrating. We're still getting in the playoffs year in, year out, but we're not winning enough games throughout the regular season to get a good seed once we get in the playoffs. So that's been tough. We had at least 2 games for sure that were a play or two away, and then 2 more games that were a couple plays away. So just I guess frustrating is the word, but still at the same time encouraging that we're right there, and a couple plays here or there could have gone our way and could have been different.
Coach, one of the things that I've appreciated about your program over the years, getting to watch your teams play a bunch, is just that toughness aspect, that no quit mentality, and we always see your teams that they're going to put up a fight no matter what the the score is, no matter who the opponent is, and I've really appreciated that about your program. And I just wonder, like, where does that start? How do you go about building that attitude within your team?
You know, it sounds corny, but we talk about that, and two of those things are two of our core values: toughness and no quit. And we talk to the kids when they're in middle school about how that stuff, that the people in our community, that was part of their DNA. So and I come from that community, but it's really cool to come back and be a part of that. But honestly, it started way before me. These kids as parents and the uncles and stuff that played football in that community, it's just been part of that part of town for a long time. And but I got to let them know that hey, this is sort of how we do things down here, and they've done a good job for the most part.
The community at Papio South is second to just about none in this entire state. How when you say, we got to have conversations with these guys when they're in junior highs, and we got to put the emphasis on the parents, and this is how we do things, and this is the community you're going to be brought up in. How much would you say of your job is that the notion of who we are, what we do, and making sure it's instilled at a young age, so when they get here as sophomores, juniors, and seniors, they're ready to contribute when they show up on campus?
For us, it's huge because we are a closed school.
Yeah.
We could talk about option enrollment for an hour if you guys want, but
we got exactly
only if you want to.
We got exactly 37 minutes. Go.
No. But so I mean, it's what we have to do.
Yeah.
Our kids are our kids, and who we got's who we got. So we got to pour into them and invest into them and let them know what we're going to do. So
I mentioned that 0-3 start a year ago. This year, you get to face those same exact three teams to start the season. When you say that, we're corny to some degree,
Mm-hmm.
we instill this when they're young, does that mean the message is still the same this year despite the results last year? Or is there a different message this year heading into this first?
I think it's always the message. That's what we stand on. Those are our values. But obviously, you tweak things, you add some things, you subtract some other things. But the kids tonight, they could talk maybe a little bit more about that. But yeah, we've definitely doubled down on a couple things, and hopefully we see it benefit here in a couple weeks.
I think we talked to you about this last year about the new weight room facilities and the training facilities that you have.
How much do you hate those?
Which are yeah, and it was kind of the first year of getting used to that new space. A year on, can you see any differences, the impact that facility has made?
Yeah, I think facilities make things easier. But our basketball coach says this all the time: just you don't start sweating, or you don't start just getting your muscles get bigger just walking into the room. You got to put in the work.
Yeah.
So it allows for things to be easier. We got, I think, 41 racks between our two rooms, 30 yards of turf and stuff. So our kids are able to stretch, to do their plyos, to do their agilities, all that stuff in the same area as their weights and stuff. So just makes things easier and quicker and more efficient.
Well, let's talk to some of those guys who are being more efficient in the weight room. We'll go over to Derek Jones, who joins us in studio tonight. We were just talking about this before we went on air, but you guys make the finals of the 7-on-7 tournament over at Bell West this summer. What was the highlight of that event for you personally?
I'd say just being out there with my team. We had a lot of key losses on defense, and I thought people have been working and stepping up. Now that they made some big plays in the championship game, as long with just the rest of the tournament. But yeah, I'd also say it was just fun, just being a little kid again, just running around with my friends, doing what I love to do.
You're running back, something that kind of runs in the family for you. Your older brother was a pretty good one too.
Yep.
What did you learn just watching him and playing with him through the years?
What I learned, kind of just sat back and watched my freshman year, him just take over, do what he does best. He's taught me just to keep staying hungry, no matter what. When your wall's against the back, just keep fighting. I've picked up a couple of drills from him as well.
Nice.
Who's the better running back, you or him?
You got the mic. Remember that.
I'd say we're different aspects. Like, he's a powerhouse. I'm more of a shifty, elusive back.
We'll give you that easy out. Hey, when you talk about playing the position, ball security is always at the top of the list. You didn't put the ball on the ground one time last year. What do you attribute your ability to keep the ball that safe to?
I mean, just during Indy, Houchin's always on us about having 3 points of contact. And if we have a punishment, if you fumble, it's 10 push-ups. So kind of just narrowing that in your head, just having that punishment.
Do Do you have a favorite run scheme? Do you have a favorite thing that like fits the way you'd like to run the ball and the things that you're good at?
I mean, I'd say more of like an outside zone, kind of elusive back, just get in space, make a move, and hit the hole and go.
This coach is as corny as he made himself sound a minute ago. Okay, good answer, Brian. Derek, good luck this fall. Thanks for being here, man. Caleb, we'll go over to you. Caleb Bailey joins us in studio as well. When you're the guy on defense who draws the double teams like you do, how much of a sense of pride comes along with you being that guy that offenses have to key in on?
I like it a lot because I get a backer free. I'm taking on double team, and that's just easy tackles, for the bat linebackers, and me doing my part can ease up the game a little bit. So I like it a lot.
Coach made it a point to tell us that you're part of the Unity Council at Papio South. So can you explain what the Unity Council is, what you do, and what that means to you to be a part of it?
Basically, it's a group of kids, sophomore through senior year. It's like 4 each. And basically, if kids have something or an issue going on with the team, they come to us and we either fix it or talk to them why we're doing this. And we kind of like discuss on what we want to do and what we should do better.
Do you get to hand out the push-up punishments if you cause a fumble?
No.
Oh, okay.
We do punishments though, like if you don't dress right at practice or something.
Okay. Yeah. You made All Metro honorable mention a year ago. What are your personal goals that you've set for yourself, either on or off the field at this point?
Well, personal, I want to get first team, but I can't do that without the team,
Fair.
because it all adds up together. But I definitely want to get first team All Metro or something like that. But I can't do it without the team. So yeah.
All right, you're heading into your senior year, and I can remember mine 25 years ago, strapping it on for the last year. I mean, what emotions come up in you? How do you feel when you think about this being the last time you get to put on the pads for Papillion Vista South?
I mean, I'm kind of sad about it, but at the same time, I've been doing it since I was 6, tackle. I've always dreamed about this. Senior year, I've always been waiting, but now it's finally here. I'm kind of sad about it, but there's more to come.
Does it feel like the end?
No, it doesn't.
That's
It
great.
just started.
What's life after high school look like for you?
Trying to go to college, but if not, go to trades.
Okay, very cool. All right, well, Caleb, thanks for being here today, man. Good luck this fall. Grant, we'll go over to you as well. Grant Beckenauer joins us in studio as well. You get it done on the gridiron and the hardwood. How does winning a state championship in basketball help you become a better leader and a winner this year on the football field?
Yeah, I mean, the past year at basketball was really fun. I had a great time with my teammates, and it just taught me to trust in my guys. And when you're coming down the stretch, like the end of the season, you just got to stay strong. Don't let the energy fall off. Don't let practices fall off, and just staying strong throughout the end of the season. And again, just trusting the guys, trusting the coaches.
We talked to Coach about the facilities out there, which are beautiful. I mean, you guys are so lucky to have that facility. What have you seen from your teammates this offseason from a work ethic or a mindset that makes you confident for the upcoming year?
Yeah, I mean, you walk into our weight room in the mornings for our workouts. Out on the field, guys are always just encouraging each other. I mean, guys are hungry to get better and whatnot. And it's just the past month or so, everyone's really come together a lot, and it's just felt like a team this year. Not that it didn't last year, but yeah, it's been really good so far.
You'll have to explain to us why you're so lazy. You play a little bit of quarterback, you punt, you play defensive back. You're kind of everywhere. Right. But punting or playing in the secondary, where do you think you need to improve the most heading into the season?
Obviously both. I'm always trying to improve at whatever I'm doing, but I mean, free safety, I'm playing again. We got some new guys coming into the secondary from last year. Had a lot of seniors last year, so I mean, right now we're just trying to work on just our coverages, our communication, the coverages. I mean, we need to prove that from last year if we want to win more games. So.
A little over a month out from the start of the season. What's left for you to do personally to get ready?
I think, just getting more reps in the weight room, just staying on the field, getting to know my teammates better, working with them a lot, and just trusting the coaches, doing the drills they want us to do, the workouts they want us to do. And yeah.
You guys going to repeat in basketball?
Oh, yeah.
There you go. That's a great answer. Coach, we'll go back over to you to wrap this up. We're catching up with Tim Clemenger, the head coach of the football program at Papio South. You talked about it a minute ago. This team has been a habitual state playoff runner. What does this team have to do to get back to state this year?
You always got to stay healthy. That's always a big one. But obviously, I know it's super cliche, but the one game at a time thing is important. But if we do that,
you're winning the coaches speak.
I know. I'm trying. But obviously, literally one game at a time, and we got enough. If you look at our schedule, our schedule's got some big playoff point implications on there. So to tie back into what I said, I know it's a little bit of coach speak, but if we knock off some of these some of these regular season opponents, and it'll set us up real good for a real nice playoff run.
We don't get to talk a lot about rivalries very often, but that first one against Pat, what does that game mean to you to be able to play that game year in and year out?
Well, like I said, I grew up in the district, so kindergarten through 12th grade. So I've been on both sides of it. I've been on this side of things for a long time now. But
that's the south side of 370 side of things.
Yep, that's true. It's really cool. It's really, we got a new assistant AD who just came in, and he was asking that same question today. So I pulled up the video and I just showed him the huddle video of just how many people come out to that. So for our guys and really for the whole community, it's a pretty cool experience.
Grant, not to bring up bad memories, but we got the ability to be at Papillion La Vista when the Papio South basketball game was happening on their campus. And it was standing room only at the start of the girls' game. It was incredible. So that community, and obviously I'm a part of it, so I'm going to pat myself on the back, is second to none. And we appreciate, Coach, we appreciate you coming in. That's
guys.
Tim Clemenger, the head coach of the Papio South Titans football program. If you missed it, check it out at soundcloud.com/afterhours1620. It was brought to you by Paul Davis Restoration. Listen, seasonal storms are going to roll in here in the next couple of days. And if you're affected by water seeping in through your windows, maybe get a little bit of mold that's building up in your house, have Paul Davis come out and restore your home to the way it was before it was damaged. Call 402-553-0373 and work with Paul Davis tonight. Which teams made the NFL playoffs last year that will, won't, and should this year? We'll tell you on the other side of the break. We come back. 1620 The Zone.
Go DJ, that's my DJ. Go DJ.
Life is unpredictable, with seasonal storms and plumbing issues hiding around every corner. You can't predict the future. So when life happens, go with a trusted, reputable company like Paul Davis Restoration. Fire, water, mold, or storm damage can all be restored by Paul Davis Restoration. Don't live in the aftermath of tragedy. Restore your home today. Call Paul Davis Restoration at 402-553-0373 today.
Criminal, civil, personal. If you or a loved one is facing a lawsuit, let Williams Law represent you and your family today. With more than 20 years litigation experience in Nebraska, Williams Law will defend you with the dedication you deserve. If you're facing a DUI or if your son or daughter has been accused of a crime, Williams Law is here for you. Call 402-522-6317 to get a free, no-obligation consultation and to get the representation you deserve today.
The time between Memorial Day and Labor Day is known as the 100 Deadliest Days. It accounts for 37% of Nebraska's traffic fatalities. Sadly, 67 people lost their lives on Nebraskan roads during this time last year. Your children, significant others, parents, pets, and friends matter to you. Drive like they matter. Don't let a crash take you away from their lives. Always wear your seatbelt, keep your eyes on the road, and put your phone away. Brought to you by the Nebraska chapter of the National Safety Council and the Nebraska DOT Highway Safety Office.
It's 7:38 on a Monday night here on 1620 The Zone, brought to you by our friends at Pyramid Contractors. If you need a free estimate for your windows, your roof, your gutters, your siding, they do it all. Check out pyramidroof.com. Get a free estimate tonight. It's time for Will, Won't, Should. We're going to tell you which teams will, won't, and should make the NFL playoffs that made the tournament a year ago. We'll start with Will, and I'm going to start this off, and I'm going to avoid the low-hanging fruit. I didn't pick the Chiefs. I didn't pick the Eagles. Like you sandbaggers who walk in here and think you can show up, not do any prep. I took the Texans, and I still think the Texans are the cream of the crop in the AFC South. I know the Colts won 8 games last year. I don't think they sniffed that this year. I think Tennessee is going to be vastly improved this year, but nowhere near close enough to compete for the division. And the Jaguars play football.
Attempt to play football.
I think the Texans are absolutely going to make the playoffs this year and run away with it.
I also did not go with low-hanging fruit here.
So you picked the Eagles?
Nope. Buccaneers.
Okay.
I think that Baker Mayfield has found a nice home in Tampa. I think he has found his footing. I think that roster's good enough to win the division again, and I think that the Bucs are due for another playoff appearance.
Is it fair to say with Baker Mayfield, he's just not a very likable person, and that's been the biggest problem with him his whole career?
I love Baker Mayfield. I don't know what you're talking about.
But he just seems to
he rubs a lot of people the wrong way.
Exactly,
yes, that's true.
Yeah.
Yes,
he's likable to the fans, but not necessarily to the people that are in charge of managing him.
Yeah.
He's likable off the field. On the field, you just want to grab him by the shoulders and shake him like a toddler or like a dog who just ate a washcloth.
It's not like he was terrible in Cleveland.
Yeah.
He's won a playoff game.
Better than Deshaun Watson was.
Historically, that is true. And
Dan?
I am going to take my will all the way out into the mountains of Colorado because I think the Denver Broncos are going to make the playoffs this year once again. I know what you're thinking right now. But
I like me some Bo Nix.
But Dan, do you think that they're going to win their division? Heck no. Because there's
just about to ask.
Didn't even need to finish second in that division last year to make the playoffs.
There's a red team in that division that always just seems to have the number 1 seed. But I do like the way that Bo Nix was developing towards the end of the season. I know it took a little bit of a
some Sean Paytoning.
Some Sean Paytoning and a rolling over by the Chiefs to allow them to make the playoffs. But
that might even be putting it nicely.
Yeah. Let's trot out Carson Wentzing.
Let's not let Joe Burrow make the playoffs.
Exactly. And I just really trust Bo Nix, to John's point.
Man, that division is going to be so good this year. That might be the best division in football.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think the Raiders are going to be way better this year.
People are sleeping on them. I really like how the Raiders
don't
look.
know.
But we're talking about
see.
playoff teams.
Do you have a will team?
I do have a will team, and I believe it's the Minnesota Vikings. I think J.J. McCarthy could be a very good quarterback. I'm projecting here, but I feel like he could be a very good quarterback. We got to see how his development looks year one. He's got Justin Jefferson. He's got Jordan Addison. The Vikings defense is no joke under Brian Flores. As long as Kevin O'Connell helps and matures a young quarterback, I don't see why the Vikings don't make the playoffs.
This sounds like a should to me, and that's why I said the Vikings won't make the playoffs for the opposite of all the reasons you just said, Logan Mosley.
So we're going to won't?
Yeah.
I guess we are.
I picked the Steelers, and I know we do this every year about July 14th. We throw the dirt on Mike Tomlin's grave and say, this is the year it doesn't happen. He won't go above 500. I mean, they found a way to win 10 games last year. it kind of feels like they're tanking for next year.
Yeah.
And Aaron Rodgers holds up to probably play number 11 of the season. Then they got to go to a backup quarterback. And can Mason Rudolph will them to the playoffs? Absolutely not. They will not make the playoffs this year. Dan?
Oh, my won't is the Vikings, simply because of the fact that legitimately. So here's my reasoning here.
I don't know ball, I guess.
I've got one division in the AFC that got 3 teams in last year, and I have one division in the NFC that got 3 teams in last year. And fun fact, I know a lot more about one of those divisions than I do the other. And I just love me some Kevin O'Connell, love me the Purple People Eaters, but they don't play for the Vikings anymore. The defensive scheme that Brian Flores is going to throw out there is going to be great. But if you can't produce on offense and you can't get Justin Jefferson and Addison the ball, there's no point. There's no point in even thinking that they're going to make the playoffs, unfortunately.
Well, I think that
plus hate.
That's what I was waiting for. I think Sam Darnold, when you compare him to JJ McCarthy, 2 different playing fields. I think JJ McCarthy's that much better. My won't team to not make the playoffs.
Hold on a second. Kevin O'Connell still coaches the Minnesota Vikings, so I don't know what that was referenced to.
Yeah,
you said you love Kevin O'Connell, but he doesn't coach the Vikings.
He said he loves Kevin O'Connell.
I said I love Kevin O'Connell,
but he coaches the Vikings.
I thought you said
Vikings.
I thought you said doesn't, and I was like, he's definitely still there.
For the record, I wanted my won't to be the Lions, but I didn't feel like getting laughed out of this room.
My won't team I have is the Los Angeles Chargers. I am not high on their defense. Lad McConkey is great and all.
Not gonna lie, I thought he was just gonna stop it. I'm not high. I'm not high. I just don't think the Chargers are gonna make the playoffs.
No, I like obviously Lad McConkey's great, but
I wondered if you were high picking the Vikings to make the playoffs.
Lad McConkey's great and all, but outside of that, you've got Najee Harris at running back.
Maybe.
Justin Jefferson.
Firework accents he gets into.
Justin Jefferson is the or not Justin Jefferson.
He plays
Justin
for the
Herbert,
Vikings.
excuse me. Yes, I just talked about him. Justin Herbert is the biggest what if quarterback ever. And you can keep throwing around those intangibles all you want.
Justin Herbert, the biggest what-if quarterback? That might be a really good take. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
We don't know how this offensive line is going to produce. They keep drafting offensive linemen high, and they always seem to not work out. This is not a knock against Harbaugh, and I'm not going to say the first name because I'm going to mess it up, so I'm just not even going to bother with
Jim
that.
Harbaugh.
Jim, thank you. If you're setting me up, that's a great setup. Jim Harbaugh, great coach.
John is the coach of the Ravens.
Ravens, okay. I'm not gonna
People
remember
forget.
that. But yeah, as much as I love what the Chargers are doing, they had a really easy schedule last year to build off and parlay into a playoff team. I don't see them doing it again.
My should make the playoffs is John's team. I think the Commanders should make the playoffs this year, and this is why. Jaden Daniels, Deebo Samuel, Terry McLaurin, Brian Robinson, Austin Eckler, KJ Osborne, Zach Ertz. You shouldn't have to field defense. There's going to be some games this year where the Washington Commanders don't actually physically do that. I think they still should make the playoffs.
That's exactly where I went. I think the Commanders definitely should. Looking at the strength of schedule projections, they're like 19th in strength of schedule, which is sort of middle of the pack with that roster. If you've got a mid-level strength of schedule, you should be able to win 9 to 10 games and make the playoffs.
Dan?
Old man Stafford still got it.
Yes!
I think that the LA Rams should make the playoffs this year. I know that we've all seen the kookiest of kooky things that they have done, in the offseason with all their trades that they want to make. But Matthew Stafford is still a serviceable quarterback, knows the game better than the majority of quarterbacks who, are his age and still playing in the league. And not to mention, you still have Sean McVay, and I'm 98% sure he shouldn't be wearing a polo on the sidelines. He should probably be wearing a Wizards cloak.
Matthew Stafford's 37 if you want to continue to feel old.
No.
By the way. Logan?
You know what? I was going to say I think the Broncos should make the playoffs, but just for that, I think the Packers should make the playoffs. Let's think about this here on offense.
You guys.
Don't say that. Don't say that. No good juju for the Packers.
You guys know what an Ouroboros is? It's a snake that eats its own tail.
That's exactly what we're doing right now. That's good enough. We'll accept that answer. So if you missed Will, Won't, Should tonight, check it out, SoundCloud.com/AfterHours1620. It was brought to you by Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear, the premier suit buying experience in the Midwest. If you have the biggest day of your life coming up, don't look like a schlub head over to Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear. They're going to get you fitted for your tux, for your big day. You're not going to rent it. You're going to own it for life and be proud to be married in the suit that you're in. Get your suit game right at 78th and Dodge. It's Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear. They've been dressing Omaha for 50 years. We're going to wrap up the show. Their trash takes the night, 1620 The Zone.
Good evening, everyone. It is Dan Campanen, and you've heard tonight my voice sounds a little bit higher, a little bit flirtier, and that is because I am full of a wonderful Pepper Jack's chicken rice bowl with all the vegetables, some jalapenos, and of course, I had to make it a fireball because that spice is my life, and I need it tonight. And if you want to be just like Dan Campanen, you can go out and get Pepper Jack's Grill right now.
This summer, skip the backyard hassle and let Pepper Jack's do the grilling for you. We're talking hot off the grill flavor. Philly sandwiches, rice bowls, nachos, and more made fresh and fired up just how you like it. Whether you're fueling up after the game or grabbing a bite before you hit the pool, we've got your summer craving covered. Dine in, carry up, or hit up the Pepper Jack's app. No flames at home? No problem. We're grilling all summer long. Pepper Jack's, where flavor takes the field.
Pepper Jack's Grill.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at
PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less.
Hey neighbor, oh my gosh, is your energy bill sky high again? When is it going to end?
Not anymore. My old windows were so drafty it felt like I had one open all the time. So I upgraded to Champion Windows.
Champion Windows, are they really that good?
They're fantastic. Energy efficient, super durable, and backed by a lifetime guarantee. And right now, it's Champion's anniversary sale. They're celebrating over 72 years with 40% off new windows.
Wait, 40% off? That's a serious deal.
I know. I just went online and booked a free estimate. So easy.
So if I need windows and act now, I can save 40%?
Yep, but you gotta hurry.
Call 877-GO-CHAMPION or visit ChampionSaveNow.com to schedule your free estimate. Champion's 40% off anniversary sale won't last long. Call 877-GO-CHAMPION or visit ChampionSaveNow.com. All discounts apply to our regular prices. Select styles apply. Minimum purchase required. Cannot be combined with other advertised offers. See store or website for details.
Putting a bow on a Monday night show. Thank you again to Tim Clemenger and the Papio South Titans football program for coming in. If you missed their segment tonight, check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. This hour is brought to you by Pyramid Contractors. Over a decade of being number one in Omaha. Check out pyramidroof.com. Get a free estimate for your windows, your roof, your gutters, your siding. They do it all. Check out pyramidroof.com tonight. It's time for our hot take market of the night. What we're doing here is all four of us are going to give you a hot take. We're going to post a poll on Twitter. You'll be able to vote there. Whoever has the fewest amount of votes loses the poll for the evening. I'm going to go and start us off. I owe somebody something.
Is it money for me?
It is not.
Oh.
I owe Jaden Daniels something. I put money on him preseason 2 years ago to win the Heisman. He paid that ticket for me. I put money on him last year before the season to win the Rookie of the Year. He paid that for me. I owe it to Jaden Daniels to put some money on him to win the NFL MVP.
Whoa!
I'm calling my shot right now. July 14th, 2025. Jaden Daniels is your NFL MVP at the end of this season.
Oh, good Lord. I hope you're right.
John, what do you got?
As many of you know, I'm sure you were all following intently, Chelsea won the Club World Cup.
That's soccer.
Yesterday.
Doesn't
beating
matter. It's a dumb competition.
I thought it was Glasshouse.
Paris Saint-Germain by a 3-0 final, absolutely dominating every phase of the game.
I don't know what you just said.
And I have been critical of this competition for many reasons. One, it takes the players away from their international commitments during important international tournaments. Two, nobody cares about it.
3, it means nothing.
And 3, it doesn't mean anything. After winning the tournament, Chelsea's Levi Colwell said, "This tournament is going to be bigger than Champions League." And Levi, I love you, buddy, but you're dead wrong. This is a summer tournament that nobody is going to give a crap about.
What's it called again?
The Club World Cup. And here's the reason. It takes place during a period of time when the transfer window opens. So the team you start with can be different than the team you end with, right? July 1 is when the transfer window opens. Chelsea started this tournament with players on their roster and finished with some players who were not on their roster when it ended.
That happens all the time. Let me tell you about injuries.
It's in a bad time of year. And look, I just don't see it ever being important. The Club World Cup will not be bigger than Champions League.
Dan?
I'm going to stay on that side of the pond because it is time for my yearly reminder, everybody out there. If you are watching golf from Thursday to Sunday of this week, it is the Open. That is it, bar none. The Open.
The U.S. Open.
Thank you for listening.
Logan, you got a quick take?
Yes, I do.
Play your
I believe
Grammy music to get us off stage.
Yeah, I believe that college teams need to start playing rivalry music whenever teams come to visit. Like if Nebraska were to host Virginia Tech, they need to come out with Enter Sandman. If they were to host Tennessee, they should come out playing a skewed version of Rocky Top. I realized this listening to my car, listening to Enter Sandman, realized how cool it would be to get that tradition going.
All right, that's been the show. If you missed any of it tonight, check it out at soundcloud.com/afterhours1620. It was brought to you by Aloe Fiber. I've been telling you for a while that Aloe Fiber has been rocking with me, and I've been rocking with them, and you can rock with a new deal courtesy of Aloe Fiber. Head over to aloefiber.com/stack tonight. Combine Aloe Fiber with DirecTV and their new mobile
Are you
service.
ready for the game changer of the day? Bellevue University has a new state-of-the-art 72,000 square foot field house featuring premium courts, generous fan seating, top-tier locker rooms, dedicated athletic training, and a strength and conditioning space, plus a whole lot more. It's not just a venue, it's a home court advantage. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
Life is unpredictable, with seasonal storms and plumbing issues hiding around every corner. You can't predict the future. So when life happens, go with a trusted, reputable company like Paul Davis Restoration. Fire, water, mold, or storm damage can all be restored by Paul Davis Restoration. Don't live in the aftermath of tragedy. Restore your home today. Call Paul Davis Restoration at 402-553-0373 today. Are you watching the water slowly seep down the drain again?